Hi guys, Ronnie here. In this video I want to show you the bike I've been working on today. So this is a 2017 Trek Domane SL frame with a 105 group set originally, but I have modified this a bit for its owner who wants to go off-road a bit and do kind of alternate riding on this bike. So the standout features of this frame, as I'm sure you know, are the ISO-speed decouplers. This one has both the front and rear, but the rear is not adjustable like on the top of the line SLR model. But I don't really think if you want a compliant bike you would just leave it all the way at the bottom anyway to have more compliance, so I don't really think that's a feature that's going to be missed here. So the first modification he did himself is he lengthened the reach and did a bit of a drop with this negative rise stem. I'm not sure it fits the idea of this bike, but maybe in the future we can work out something of a better solution. And the bar tape on this bike was a really hard Monterey cork tape, as it is with most stock bikes, so I swapped that for a really nice and cushy 3.2mm Lizard Skins DSP, super grippy as well, so I think this is much more the ideal tape for riding off-road and for being comfortable. The bar itself had some gel inserts stuck into it on this area. I think with the bar tape this thick, I just removed those because it made a really huge bulge here and it wasn't looking nice, and it was quite overkill in my opinion because the bar was so thick you can really hold it properly, so that's not good, not what you want for off-roading. Now the wheels on this bike are not stock either, so these are Vision Metron 40 carbon clinchers in the disc version. Now this is not a proper disc brake only wheel set, as you can see it still has a brake track. It's not the widest either, it's not tubeless ready, but still it's a very nice set of hoops. So it's running tube now. It's run tube now. Tire wise, I switched the stock Bontrager 32 mils to these Schwalbe G1 speeds. Now the Bontragers on this one were slick, which doesn't really suit this bike, so I swapped to the G1s. Now these have a tiny little tread pattern to it, so it should still be pretty fast on the tarmac, but it should have much more grip when riding off-road. The bike also has these ice-tech rotors, so that's a really nice upgrade if you want to ride some long descents. Now some other things I have done on this bike, with the most notable feature is that I've converted it to a 1x system. Now the owner first wanted the complete SRAM Force 1 group set, but cost wise it's not really effective because essentially nothing from the Shimano group works with it, so we'd have to change everything, and that would be quite over budget. So I devised another solution for that, and it basically just consists of 4 parts. So the first one is the chaining itself. This is a 40 tooth BOR chainring made in Germany, and it has a narrow wide design as you would expect from a 1x setup, and this one is actually quite cheap if you compare it to some other Wolf Tooth, Absolute Black or some other manufacturers. So it's a good budget option, I really recommend it, and it's nicely made and finished. I think chain security will be okay. Now if you run 1x you also need quite a big range in the back, so that's why I opted for a Shimano SLX M7000 11-40 cassette. I didn't want to go any bigger because then the gaps are too big for this kind of mixed terrain riding. It's good maybe for MTB, but for this kind of riding 1140 is all you really need. This way you have a 1-to-1 gear ratio, so that should get you up on those climbs even when spinning along nicely. I didn't really want to use the stock 105 derailleur because it doesn't have a clutch, and since this is not a proprietary 1x system, I just wanted to change that. It could have worked with a road link, but I think this one is a better option. So this is a mountain bike derailleur SLX M7000. It's one of the newer Shimano models, and it has a disengageable clutch on it, so it should keep the chain really secure if you're riding over rough terrain. Now, the problem with Shimano in this case is that the road shifters have a different amount of cable pull, and they don't work as standard with the mountain bike Shimano derailleurs, whereas SRAM have the same lever pull on both. So the first thing I did to address that is I used a both tooth 10-pan adapter. Now you really need the inline version for this frame because there's just no way you could fit it in this small amount of cable, and I'm going to return that in a moment. Now, this is an excellent product for applications like these, although the installation instructions were extremely blurry and I didn't get it right at first, to be honest. I also changed the cable to a Jaguar polished Pro cable, and that way it was a bit easier. So I don't know the instructions or who are they written by. I think he consumed 4 liters of absinthe or something before he did. But just a quick recap of how you do it. So first you thread the cable through the barrel adjuster, and then you adjust the position and the rotation of the inner part, basically, so that it matches with this high gear marking. So you turn it around, wind the cable here and there under this tiny little screw, very irritating to be honest. You undo that a bit and there's a tiny hole which you can thread the cable into, and then you get yourself and a cable on the outside bit, and then you thread it out here and you make sure it's tight and sits flush with the spools in there, and you're good to go. So that was a road link. That's just to convert the amount of cable pull, and it works brilliantly. Shifting is extremely good, like it was a proper dedicated mountain bike unit, so that solves that. One minor issue I had was with the gear cable itself. Now this frame has extremely tight routing. With the road derailleurs you get the cable anchor point somewhere here, so you get a nice little loop. But on the mountain bike ones, mountain bikes usually have the cable exit port somewhere around here, so you get so we get loops like this or like that. Now this one actually comes quite tight, and it doesn't really work with standard gear cables. So what I had to do is to devise a Jaguar Elite Link system for this, because this can handle the extreme compression and quite severe bend without any extra friction. So if you want to do a setup like this, I suggest you really should stock on this one, on this product. So it works excellent with this. Yeah, so it's quite stiff as well, so maybe riding off-road you're not likely to damage this because it's just solid aluminum. Yeah, so that was the main modification I did to this bike. Then another thing I've noticed is that the seat post was a shorter one, the shorter version that Trek make, and it was overextended. Now he bought this bike at a very good price from the now defunct Trek retailer, and what they haven't done is they haven't set him up with a long enough seat mast. Sorry, and I've seen a lot of people doing this, overextending their seat masts, and what you do then is essentially break your frame at the seat post. So definitely not something you want to do. Then also some minor cosmetic touches. I've done some covering up patches here from clear adhesive to stop cable rub, and I also done a needle of the guard here because the cable system is completely open, Yeah, so dirt can get into it, but I've stuck it over that, so now it's shielded from dirt. Yeah, so overall I think it turned out to be really good. Nice little gravel bike build. It's quite light as well, and it's also finished up the pair of Shimano XTR pedals. A bit worn, but they do the job. Okay, so this was a quick little view of my latest build that I've been doing, and maybe an inspiration for someone who wants to do Shimano 1x drivetrain. Now if you want to see more bikes that I build and modify, then don't forget to tune into my channel and subscribe. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.